Men, the most overlooked source of truth when you suspect infidelity isn't her phone, her schedule, or even her behavior. It's her family. Before we dive in, hit subscribe, smash that like and hype button, and drop a comment if you've ever had a family member accidentally reveal or confirm infidelity through one of these behavioral patterns. Your experience might help another man recognize the signs that people who know the truth can't completely hide. Way 1. They suddenly avoid eye contact and seem uncomfortable around you. When her family members, who were previously warm and comfortable with you, suddenly can't maintain normal eye contact, seem awkward or uncomfortable in your presence, avoid being alone with you, or generally act like they're walking on eggshells around you. They're showing visible discomfort that comes from knowing something about her behavior that you don't know. This sudden shift in how they interact with you reveals they're carrying knowledge that creates guilt and awkwardness. What this reveals? This reveals they know she's betraying you, and they're uncomfortable being around you while carrying that knowledge. Most people feel guilty being friendly with someone who's being deceived, even when they're not the ones doing the deceiving. Her family members who know about the affair struggle to act normal around you because they're aware of the betrayal happening behind your back, and that awareness creates visible discomfort they can't fully hide. Notice particularly which family members show this discomfort. If her mother, who was previously warm, suddenly becomes cold or avoidant, mothers often know what's happening with their daughters and struggle to be friendly with the man being betrayed. If her siblings, who used to joke with you now, seem awkward and formal, siblings are often confidants who know the truth and can't pretend everything is fine. The people closest to her are most likely to know and most likely to show discomfort. Watch for changes in their physical behavior around you. If they used to hug you in greeting, but now offer stiff handshakes or avoid physical contact altogether. If they used to sit near you at gatherings, but now maintain physical distance. If they used to make eye contact during conversations, but now look away frequently, these physical manifestations of discomfort reveal they're struggling to interact normally with you while knowing you're being deceived. Pay attention to how they behave when she's present versus when she's not. If they're noticeably more comfortable when she's in the room, as if her presence gives them permission to interact with you normally, but become awkward when it's just you, they're looking to her for cues on how to act. They need her presence as buffer because interacting with you alone while knowing the truth is too uncomfortable. Observe whether they seem relieved when you leave. If there's visible tension, that releases when you exit family gatherings. If conversations seem to resume more naturally after you're gone, if you sense you're creating discomfort simply by being present, their relief at your absence reveals you're the reminder of betrayal they're uncomfortable being around. Your presence forces them to confront their knowledge of what she's doing to you. Why this creates the tell. People who care about you at all struggle to be complicit in your deception, even passively. Her family members know that being friendly with you while knowing she's cheating makes them feel like accomplices to her betrayal. This internal conflict creates visible discomfort. The guilt of knowing, the awkwardness of pretending, and the moral discomfort of watching someone be deceived creates tells they can't completely suppress. The sudden change from comfortable to uncomfortable around you is their guilt and knowledge manifesting physically. Way 2. They accidentally reference things you supposedly did together that never happened, when her family members casually reference events, activities, or situations involving her that you weren't part of, but that were explained to them as involving you. They're accidentally revealing the cover stories she's been telling them. If her mother mentions that restaurant you two went to last month that you've never been to, or her sister references that weekend trip you took together that you didn't take, they're exposing the lies she told them to cover for time she was actually with someone else. What this reveals? This reveals she's been creating false narratives about spending time with you to explain her whereabouts to her family while actually being with the affair partner. When family members reference these fictional scenarios, They're innocently repeating the cover stories she fed them, not realizing you don't know what they're talking about because those events never happened. Their confusion, when you don't remember these supposed shared experiences, accidentally exposes her deception. Notice how they respond when you express confusion about these references. If you say, "What restaurant?" "We didn't go out last month," and they seem surprised or uncomfortable, quickly changing the subject or backtracking awkwardly, they're realizing they've stumbled into revealing something. Their discomfort at your confusion shows they understand they've accidentally exposed an inconsistency in her story, even if they don't fully understand what that means. Watch whether these references involve specific details that don't match your actual timeline. If her father mentions you were with her Tuesday night when you know you were working late, if her brother references seeing you both at a location you weren't at, if multiple family members have memories of you doing things with her that you have no memory of, the pattern of inconsistent memories reveals she's been creating elaborate cover stories involving you. Pay attention to whether she tries to intervene when these references come up. If family members start mentioning these events and she quickly changes the subject, corrects them in ways that seem designed to shut down the conversation, or shoots them looks that communicate they should stop talking, she's trying to prevent them from accidentally revealing the inconsistencies in her cover stories. Her intervention reveals she knows these references expose her lies. Observe if there are patterns to when these supposed activities occurred. If the references consistently involve evenings, weekends, or specific time periods when you were actually unavailable or doing something else, she's been using your actual unavailability as cover for being with someone else while telling her family you were together. The pattern of misaligned timeframes reveals systematic deception. Why this creates the tell. People don't track lies the way they track truth. Her family members believe the stories she told them because they have no reason to question her. When they casually reference these false narratives in front of you, they expect you to remember and engage with these supposedly shared memories. Their innocent references expose her deception because they're repeating lies as if they were truth, not realizing you don't share these memories because the events never happened. The inconsistency between what they believe happened and what actually happened reveals her cover stories. Way 3. They treat you with uncharacteristic pity or excessive kindness. When her family members who previously treated you normally suddenly start treating you with noticeable pity, excessive kindness, or being unusually nice to you in ways that feel patronizing or uncomfortable, they're overcompensating for knowing you're being betrayed. This shift from normal interaction to treating you like someone to feel sorry for reveals they know something that makes them view you as a victim deserving of their sympathy. What this reveals? This reveals they know about the affair and feel sorry for you being deceived. People who know someone is being cheated on often struggle with how to treat that person. They can't act normal because they know the truth, but they can't tell you directly either. This internal conflict often manifests as overcompensating kindness or treating you with pity they're trying to disguise as friendliness. The shift to treating you like someone who needs extra care reveals they see you as someone being wronged. Notice specific changes in how they interact with you. If her mother, who was previously friendly but normal, suddenly becomes overly solicitous, asking how you're doing with unusual concern, offering to do things for you she never offered before, treating you with tenderness that feels out of proportion to normal family interaction. She's expressing sympathy for your situation without being able to acknowledge why. The excessive care reveals she knows you're being hurt. Watch their facial expressions when they look at you. If you catch them looking at you with expressions of sadness, concern, or pity before they realize you've noticed and quickly change their expression, those unguarded moments reveal their true feelings. People who know you're being betrayed look at you differently. There's sadness or sympathy in their eyes they're trying to hide. Those micro-expressions expose their knowledge before they can control their reaction. Pay attention to whether they seem to be treating you carefully, as if you're fragile. If conversations with them feel like they're being overly cautious not to upset you, if they avoid certain topics or seem to be walking on eggshells around anything related to your relationship, they're treating you like someone who's vulnerable or already hurting. This careful handling reveals they know there's reason you might be upset or fragile, even though they can't acknowledge that reason directly. Observe if they make comments that seem to comfort you without explaining why you need comfort. Statements like, "You're a good man," "You deserve to be happy," "Make sure you take care of yourself," or other supportive comments that seem to come out of nowhere, are often people trying to express sympathy or prepare you for eventual discovery without revealing what they know. These unprompted supportive statements reveal underlying concern for you based on knowledge they're not sharing. Why this creates the tell. Most people have empathy and feel bad watching someone be deceived, even when the deceiver is their family member. Her family members know you're being betrayed, and that knowledge creates genuine sympathy for you. They can't express that sympathy directly without revealing what they know, so it leaks out as excessive kindness, careful treatment, or pity they're trying to disguise as normal concern. The shift in how they treat you from equal to victim reveals their knowledge that you're being wronged, even when they won't admit they know. Way 4. They make defensive comments about her without prompting. When her family members make unprompted defensive statements about her character, loyalty, or behavior. "She really loves you, you know. She would never do anything to hurt you. She's just been stressed lately." When you haven't questioned any of these things, they're trying to convince themselves or preemptively defend against doubts they fear you might have. These unsolicited defenses reveal they're trying to rationalize or minimize behavior they know about. What this reveals? This reveals they know something that makes them feel they need to defend her or reassure you. People don't spontaneously defend someone's loyalty unless there's reason to question it. When family members make these unprompted statements, they're either trying to convince themselves that what she's doing isn't as bad as it seems, or they're preemptively trying to prevent you from suspecting what they know. Either way, their need to defend her reveals there's something that needs defending. Notice the specific nature of their defenses. If they emphasize her love for you or her loyalty without you questioning these things, they're addressing the exact area where betrayal is occurring. If they explain away her behavior, absences, or mood changes without you asking for explanations, they're providing cover for things they know need covering. The content of their unprompted defenses reveals exactly what they're trying to protect or excuse. Watch how they respond if you agree with their defensive statements. If you say, "I know she loves me," in response to their unprompted assurance, and they seem relieved, or continue emphasizing the point as if they're trying to convince both of you, their persistence reveals doubt underneath their defense. If they believe their own statements, they wouldn't need to keep repeating them. The repetition shows they're trying to maintain a narrative they're not fully convinced by. Pay attention to whether these defenses come with explanations of her behavior. If they say things like, "She's just been going through a lot," "Work has been really stressful for her," or "She's dealing with some stuff right now," without you asking why she's been different, they're preemptively explaining changes they know you've noticed or will notice. These explanations reveal they're aware her behavior has shifted, and they're trying to provide innocent reasons for changes that actually have more concerning causes. Observe if multiple family members offer similar defenses. If her mother, sister, and friend all independently make comments defending her loyalty or character, it suggests they've discussed the situation among themselves and agreed on a narrative to maintain. This coordination reveals they're managing information and trying to present united front that protects her, which only makes sense if there's something that needs protecting. Why this creates the tell. People who are secure in someone's loyalty don't feel the need to spontaneously defend it. Her family members are making these unprompted defensive statements because they know something that creates doubt, and they're either trying to suppress their own discomfort with that knowledge or prevent you from discovering it. The defenses reveal guilt, complicity, or internal conflict about what they know. If there was nothing to defend, they wouldn't be defending. Their need to reassure you without prompting reveals there's something creating the need for reassurance. Way 5. They avoid talking about her current life or activities. When conversations with her family about her become noticeably vague or surface level, they don't mention what she's been up to lately, avoid discussing her activities or schedule, change the subject when her current life comes up, or seem to know surprisingly little about what's going on with her, despite being close. They're deliberately avoiding topics that might accidentally reveal information about the affair. What this reveals? This reveals they're carefully managing what information they share about her because they know her actual activities include things you're not supposed to know about. When family members who normally share details about her life suddenly become vague and avoidant about her current activities, they're protecting information. They can't talk freely about what she's doing because honest discussion would expose her absences, inconsistencies, or the affair partner's presence in her life. Notice the contrast between how they discuss her past versus her present. If they're comfortable sharing stories from months or years ago, but become vague when discussing recent weeks or months, the timeline of their comfort reveals when the affair started. They can discuss her life freely, up until the point where discussion would involve the affair. Then they become carefully vague. This temporal boundary in their openness reveals when the situation they're hiding began. Watch how they respond to direct questions about her current life. If you ask what she's been up to lately, and they give non-specific answers, "Oh, the usual. She's been busy, not much." Despite her life supposedly being full of activities, their vagueness reveals they can't share details without risking exposure. People who are truly informed give details naturally. Vagueness reveals deliberate information management. Pay attention to whether they redirect conversations about her to focus on you instead. If every time her current life comes up, they quickly shift to asking about your work, your life, or changing the topic entirely, they're actively avoiding a subject they know is dangerous territory. This consistent redirection reveals they're uncomfortable with discussions that might accidentally reveal what's really happening in her life. Observe if they seem relieved when she controls the narrative about her own life. If they let her answer questions about her activities without adding their own knowledge or observations. If they defer to her version of events even when they could contribute additional information, they're letting her manage the story because they know the real story includes elements she hasn't told you. Their deference reveals they're aware there's information that needs controlling. Why this creates the tell. Family members who know about an affair understand that casual conversation about her life is a minefield. Mentioning who she's been spending time with, where she's been going, or what she's been doing risks accidentally revealing the affair partner or inconsistencies in her cover stories. Their solution is vagueness. They avoid specific discussions of her current life to avoid the risk of accidental exposure. This information management is itself revealing because people only carefully manage information when there's sensitive information to protect. Way 6. They show visible tension or conflict with her that didn't exist before. When you notice new tension, distance, or conflict between her and family members who were previously close, her mother who was warm to her seems cold, her sister she was close with now has obvious tension with her, family members who used to joke with her now interact formally or with obvious discomfort. This shift reveals family conflict over her behavior that they're trying to hide from you. What this reveals? This reveals that her family knows about the affair, and at least some of them disapprove, creating family conflict she's trying to hide from you. When you cheat, Not everyone in your life supports that decision. Some family members feel conflicted about knowing, some disapprove of the betrayal, and some are angry at being put in position of keeping secrets. This internal family conflict over her behavior manifests as visible tension they can't completely hide when together. Notice which family members seem to have the most tension with her. Often mothers show the strongest disapproval of their daughters' affairs, creating cold interactions where warmth previously existed. Siblings who are close might show anger or disappointment through sarcasm, distance, or pointed comments. The people who are closest to her and care most about her character are often most upset by her choices and least able to hide their disapproval. Watch how she responds to family members who seem to disapprove. If she seems defensive, avoidant, or tense around family members who previously had easy relationships with her, she's responding to their judgment or disapproval of her behavior. If she avoids being alone with certain family members or seems to carefully manage conversations with them when you're present, she's trying to prevent them from expressing their feelings or accidentally revealing what they know. Pay attention to subtle expressions of disapproval during family gatherings, comments that seem pointed. "I hope you know what you're doing." "Some things are more important than temporary happiness." "Actions have consequences," are often family members expressing disapproval in coded ways they think she'll understand, but that you might miss. These veiled criticisms reveal family disagreement about choices she's making that they can't discuss openly. Observe if certain family members seem to support you more strongly than before. If her father, who was previously neutral, seems to go out of his way to connect with you, if her siblings make special effort to maintain relationship with you, if family members seem to be quietly choosing sides, they're managing the knowledge that you've been wronged. Their increased support for you reveals they know you're the victim in a situation they can't directly address. Why this creates the tell. Affairs create moral crises within families. Some family members feel they need to be loyal to their daughter or sister and keep her secrets, while others feel complicit in betrayal and are angry at being put in that position. This internal family conflict over her behavior and what to do about it creates visible tension. Arguments about whether to tell you, disagreements about supporting her choices, anger at being made accomplices. All of this conflict leaks into family dynamics in ways they can't completely hide. The tension you observe reveals internal struggle over knowledge they're carrying.